Good day, class, and welcome to another mini lesson from Mr. Brown. Hope all is well. As we get into our last, I want to say this is our last, 7 or so days of school we have left. It's been a tough year. I'm proud of a lot of you guys. You turned the corner. Before we went out in March, I was telling you guys how many of you had turned the corner. And we're growing up and the maturity level was getting there, and I was proud of you guys. So keep up the good work throughout the summer. Continue to grow, continue to read, make yourself more well-rounded so you can be valuable to the world and be able to earn a living and take care of yourself and your family in the future. With that being said, today's mini lesson focuses on what we're going to do for our final project, if you will. Now, this is more or less for the students who are pretty much in need of some extra points and want to try to boost their grade up. If you feel like you're low and you really want to boost your grade up, this is a final project that I think that they're going to be reviewing. The administration is going to review it, and then they're going to determine if you do this. I guess maybe I'm not sure how they're going to do it, so don't quote me. But they're going to look at this project as something that you guys did and may consider it, I guess, for people that may be close to failing. Maybe this could do something to push them over the top. But if you're already like at an A average, you're pretty much secure. B average, you're pretty much secure. So it'll be an option for you to do it if you choose to. Now, for the rest of you guys, what you have to do is you have to write 3 5-paragraph essays. Now, let me break it down again. For the final project, you have to write 3 5-paragraph essays, not a 3-paragraph essay, but you have to write a 5-paragraph essay, and you have to do that 3 times on 3 different subjects. So let's break it down, okay? So your first 5-paragraph essay would be on social justice. Once again, your first 5-paragraph essay would be on social justice. So you want to think about that, okay? So in your first paragraph, you might want to talk about what does social justice mean to the Black community. Your second paragraph, you could talk about education and civil rights. And third paragraph, maybe you could just talk about communities, period, as far as just living in a community and what does social justice mean to just the Black community as far as policing, fire department, services in the community, and so forth. So once again, your first 5-paragraph essay will be on social justice. And you will talk about, in that, your first paragraph should talk about what does that mean to the Black community. Secondly, you should talk about education. And maybe the third paragraph can talk about civil rights or just resources in the community. So however you want to break it down into your paragraphs. But once again, it has to be a 5-paragraph essay on social justice. The next 5-paragraph essay that you would have to write would be on what are the positive and negative impacts of distant learning? We've been dealing with distant learning, working from home, virtual learning, going Google Classroom and so forth. So what are some of the positives of that? So that would be your first paragraph. What are the positives of distant learning? Of course, you have an intro, and then your first body paragraph would talk about what are some of the positives of distant learning. Your next body paragraph would talk about what are some of the negatives of distant learning. And then your final paragraph would talk about what would be some suggestions that you guys can make in order to make distant learning a better thing if we had to do that again, which we know is possible with COVID-19. So once again, we're doing 3 5-paragraph essays, okay? And we're starting with an intro where you introduce the topic, then 3 body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. And your final 5-paragraph essay that you have to write is a comparison contrast essay where you compare and contrast of Mice and Men, the book we read, our classroom book of Mice and Men, and our other classroom book, Ghost Boys. So what I want you to talk about, what are some of the similarities in one paragraph in your first body paragraph. Then your second body paragraph, you could talk about what are some of the differences. And then in your final paragraph, you could talk about how do you relate to both books, or how do you relate to a certain character in the book, okay? So once again, this is the final project that if you are close to failing and you feel like you need to boost your grade up, you could do this, and then they will weigh and judge it and determine, I guess, the point value that they'll assign to it. But it has to be 3 5-paragraph essays. It has to be a 5-paragraph essay. Once again, not a 3-paragraph essay, a 5-paragraph essay with an intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. All right. Hope you guys got that. Once again, 1 on social justice, Okay, you could talk about what it means to the community. You could talk about education and civil rights. Then it's one that you're doing on the negative impacts of distant learning and the positive impacts of distant learning. You can talk about the positives, the negatives, and some suggestions. Those are 3 paragraphs along with the intro and the conclusion. Then your third and final essay will be about comparing and contrasting Of Mice and Men and Ghost Boys. What were some similarities? What were some of the differences of the 2 books? And how do you relate to the books or some of the characters in either book? Okay, so 3 5-paragraph essays that you have to do, and you will have 7 days. I'm assigning this tomorrow. I'm assigning this June 12th. You will have until June 19th to complete this. This is what your assignments are for the next 7 days, to complete these essays. All right. Thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.